I was reincarnated as a husky for less than 3 seconds before my gorgeous cop owner tried to snip my balls. Just as I thought my dog life was over, a system suddenly activated. I thought I would get to chase some female dogs and live the dream, but it was a police dog system. Facing the dead end of a husky trying to be a police dog, I was thrashing around in my cage while absorbing this body's memories. I was now Tidan, a husky belonging to this beautiful young cop named Mikai. She is actually the daughter of my old Captain Mi Jiangguo, who died in the line of duty. I reincarnated, but instead of taking care of her, I became her pet dog. "Doctor, please hurry up," Mikai pleaded. "I have a case waiting at the station, so as soon as this is done, I need to rush back." Her voice cracked with exhaustion and tears. My heart ached just looking at her. Ever since her father died, she had carried all this weight alone, putting herself through the police academy to join the force. She worked herself to the bone every day, and on top of that, she had a house-wrecking husky making trouble for her at home. Just as the vet opened my cage with a sedative needle to drag me out, the clinic door was kicked open. 3 masked thugs burst in, armed with machetes and metal batons. Reeking of alcohol, they yelled for Mikai to get out, threatening to ruin her for busting their boss. My dog ears instantly perked up. They were remnants of the drug cartel she had just locked up here to seek revenge. The clinic staff screamed in terror, ducking for cover. Mikai went pale, but instantly drew her service weapon, standing her ground. "Police, put down your weapons," she yelled. But she had only been on the force for 3 months, and her hand trembled. She had never even fired her gun in the line of duty. Facing 3 ruthless thugs, she was terrified. Worse, these guys were wearing body armor, completely unfazed by a standard-issue pistol at close range. The scarred leader sneered at her, swinging his baton hard. It struck Mikai's wrist with a loud clang, sending her pistol flying across the room. She groaned in pain as the other 2 thugs pinned her tightly against the wall. "Our boss wants her crippled," the leader growled. "She needs to learn what happens to people who meddle in our business." He raised his heavy machete and swung it straight down toward her arm. A system alert flashed. Emergency mission triggered. Protect your owner, Mikai, and defeat the 3 thugs. Police dog system successfully bound. Starter pack unlocked. Congratulations, you have received the ultimate South American gray wolf physique, along with military combat skills. The moment the voice faded, my bones began to pop and crack. Explosive power flooded my scrawny husky body, and deadly combat instincts carved themselves into my brain. In my past life, I was a decorated undercover cop. Even if I am stuck in a dog's body now, there is no way I will stand by and watch my old captain's daughter get hurt. I smashed open my cage door and bolted out like a streak of black lightning just as the machete fell. In a split second, I sank my teeth deep into the thug's wrist. A sickening crack of splintering bone echoed through the clinic. He screamed, clutching his shattered hand. Where did this stupid dog come from? The other 2 thugs froze in shock. They never expected a husky to be the one saving the day. I let go of the leader, shook my head, and bared my razor-sharp teeth. I activated my Wolf King intimidation skill. A deafening primal howl ripped from my throat. It was no goofy husky bark. It was the terrifying roar of a wild wolf. The thugs shuddered, their knees buckling beneath them. Armed with weapons, they were sweating bullets, terrified of a husky. "Damn it, it is just a stupid dog, I will kill you," one of them yelled, swinging his baton at my head. I easily sidestepped, dodging the blow. With over 10 years of hand-to-hand combat training from my past life, a dog's body was not going to limit me. I leaped, slamming into his chest with raw force. He flew backward, his head cracking against the wall. He slumped to the floor, knocked out cold. The last thug saw his buddies down and bolted for the exit. No way I was letting him escape. I lunged forward on 4 legs and clamped my jaws onto his calf. With a violent shake, I slammed him face first onto the floor. I pinned him down, completely neutralizing him. In less than a minute, I had taken down 3 armed thugs all by myself. The entire clinic fell dead silent. Mikai stared at me, her jaw dropping. I stood there with bristling fur and blood dripping from my jaws. She could not believe that the fierce beast who had just decimated 3 grown men was her goofball husky, Tidan, who usually only cared about destroying furniture and begging for treats. Just then, sirens wailed outside. A nurse had slipped away to call the police, and several squad cars pulled up. Officers rushed in with guns drawn only to freeze in shock. 1 thug had a shattered wrist, another was unconscious, and the 3rd was sobbing under my paws. The hero who had subdued them was a husky. Leading the squad was Captain Zhang Lei, my close colleague from my past life. Looking at me, his brain completely short-circuited. "What on earth happened here?" he stammered. "Captain Zhang, it was this dog. He took them all down," a trembling nurse explained, handing over the security footage. After watching the video, Zhang Lei was speechless. He knew Mackay, and he certainly knew me, her troublesome husky. Just last week I had snuck into his office, shattered his favorite mug, and shredded half the archives. Yet here I was, a certified menace, taking down 3 armed thugs. Mackay finally snapped out of it and rushed to hug me. She buried her face in my fur, her warm tears dripping onto my head. "Tiden, you scared me to death. How did you do that?" she cried. Her hands were still trembling from the adrenaline. She had not shed a single tear while pinned against the wall, but now she could not stop sobbing. My heart softened. I gently licked her hand, promising my old captain that I would keep his daughter safe. A system notification chimed. "Starter mission complete. Shop unlocked. Spend points to buy combat skills and physical upgrades." My eyes lit up. A shop. When I opened the interface, my mind was blown. The inventory was massive. I was thrilled. My balls were safe, and even as a husky, I was going to become the greatest police dog in history. Soon officers loaded the thugs into the vans. Zhang Lei walked over to us. He stared at me with a look of pure disbelief. "Mackay, your dog is kind of ridiculous," he said. Mackay wiped her face and looked down at me. "I have no idea. It is like he suddenly grew a brain today." Grew a brain, I literally got a soul swap. I bounded around, tilted my head, and stuck out my tongue, activating my goofball act. Instantly, the terrifying Wolf King was gone, replaced by a derpy husky. Zhang Lei's mouth twitched. "Well, as long as you are safe," Zhang Lei said. "These guys are cartel remnants we have been hunting. Tidan really saved the day. Wait, weren't you here to neuter him?" My fur instantly stood on end. Neuter me. "I just saved your partner's life and you still want to take my manhood?" I backed away, growling fiercely at Zhang Lei. Mackay quickly pulled me into her arms and waved him off. "No way, we are not doing it, never again." "Tidan is a hero. I am not ruining him," she declared. I instantly calmed down and wagged my tail with pride. "That is more like it. My manhood was officially saved." When we finally got back to Mackay's apartment, I finally got a good look around. Her cozy apartment was spotless. On the living room wall hung a portrait of my old captain Mi Jiangguo in his uniform. He smiled warmly, looking exactly as I remembered. I walked over to it and sat down, staring up at his face, as a wave of grief hit me. I failed to protect him back then, but I will be damned if I let his daughter suffer now. Mackay knelt beside me, gently stroking my back. "Tiden," she whispered. "This is my dad. He was a cop and a true hero," she said. I turned and nudged her palm, letting out 2 soft barks. "I know, kid. Of course I know." She smiled, ruffling my fur, before heading to the kitchen to boil some chicken. Watching her cook, I made a silent vow. As long as I am breathing, nobody touches her. The cartel that killed her father and every criminal running free are going down. The next morning, Mackay brought me to the Criminal Investigation Headquarters. The moment we walked in, the entire precinct surrounded us, staring at me like a national treasure. No way is this the husky that took down 3 armed guys. He looks totally ordinary. "Just a standard, goofy husky," someone scoffed. "Don't underestimate him," another replied. The footage was brutal. He snapped a wrist in one bite, fiercer than a German shepherd. They crowded around, whispering, while I strutted past them with my head held high, feeling like a general inspecting the troops. None of these rookies understood that they were looking at a reincarnated Wolf King. Just then, a K9 handler named Lao Li approached, leading a massive German shepherd named Hurricane, the precinct's star police dog. Lao Li looked down at me with disdain. "Mackay, no offense, but a husky. This breed just does not have what it takes to be a police dog." "Yesterday was just a fluke," he added. Behind him, Hurricane growled at me, clearly looking down on a husky. I gave him a lazy side-eye. "Please, this mutt is not even worthy of being my assistant." Mackay frowned, ready to defend me, when Zhang Lei walked up. "Come on, Lao Li, you cannot say that. We all saw the footage. Tidan is the real deal. In fact, a call just came in about a residential break-in uptown, a burglary case over $200,000 with 0 clues at the scene. Mackay, go on this call and bring Tidan along to test his skills." Old Lee laughed instantly. Sure, let's see if this husky really has real talent." Mackay looked down at me, looking tense. I wagged my tail and nudged his leg. "Don't worry, I will crack this in minutes." Daily quest triggered. Help the police solve the burglary case and recover the stolen cash. Reward 500 police dog points and 1 basic physical enhancement. A quest I instantly fired up, hopped into the police car with Mackay, and sped toward the East District Apartment. The home was completely trashed. The safe was pried open with $200,000 in cash and lots of jewelry gone. Forensics was scanning the scene, frowning deeply. Captain Zhang, the scene was thoroughly wiped down. The suspect wore gloves and booties. No prints, no footprints. They knew what they were doing. Even the entrance camera was broken. Zhang Lei nodded, looking grim. A $200,000 burglary was a big deal. If we got no leads, this would go cold. Old Lee strolled over with Hurricane boasting, "Captain, let Hurricane handle this. He is a master tracker and will definitely find something." Zhang Lei nodded. "All right, let Hurricane try," and Old Lee gave the command. Hurricane sniffed the air, circling the room several times, before finally flopping onto the floor and shaking his head. No leads. Old Lee lost his smug grin instantly and gave an awkward laugh, saying the suspect cleaned up too well, leaving 0 cent for Hurricane to track. The other officers sighed, realizing how tough this would be. Right then, Mackay nudged me gently and whispered, "Tiden, why don't you try too?" I stepped forward right away. The surrounding officers stared at me with curiosity mixed with plenty of doubt. A husky, even our star police dog Hurricane failed. So what could I do? Old Lee scoffed out loud. "Mackay, stop playing around. If Hurricane failed, what can a husky do?" I ignored him and activated my divine sense of smell. Instantly, every scent in the room flooded my nose like a tidal wave. Dust, the owner cleaning spray, plus a faint, almost imperceptible hint of cigarette smoke, rust, and a strange oily smell. This did not belong to the owner or the cops. It was the thief. I followed the scent trail step by step, stopping right in front of the bedroom wardrobe, barking twice. Everyone gathered around. "We already checked the closet. There is nothing. Is he just barking randomly?" Ignoring their doubts, I scratched at the back panel of the wardrobe, making a hollow thud. Captain Zhang's face tightened. "There is a secret compartment. Tear it open." The forensics team rushed forward and removed the panel. Behind it was a hidden space containing a handgun, a crowbar, a cigarette butt, and some paint. We found the tools. Everyone stood frozen, staring at me in absolute shock. Old Lee went pale, staring at me for a long moment, completely speechless. His pride and joy, the ace police dog, Hurricane, had missed the clues that a husky just uncovered. I wagged my tail triumphantly and kept sniffing. The suspect's scent drifted out the window, so I ran over and barked toward the fire escape. The suspect took the emergency stairs. Captain Zhang ordered, "Check all the fire escape footage and nearby cameras." I kept trailing the scent downstairs, heading straight into the underground parking garage. I stopped in front of a beat-up van, barking frantically at the door. The scent was overpowering here. The suspect was inside. "There is someone in there." The cops drew their guns, surrounded the van, and yanked the door open. Sure enough, a suspicious guy was hiding inside next to a black backpack packed with the stolen $200,000 in jewelry. Caught red-handed. The guy was dazed, unable to comprehend how he was found, especially by a husky. The officers pinned him down and cuffed him. The room erupted in cheers. "Unbelievable. This husky is a genius. My God, from the tools of the crime to the suspect, he found everything. He is better than any police dog. No, he is a miracle dog." Captain Zhang walked over, patting my head in amazement. "Tiden, you are a treasure." Mackay was absolutely thrilled, wrapping me in a tight hug and kissing my head. "Tiden, you are amazing. I knew you had it in you." My face flushed, my dog ears burning. "Whoa, girl, boundaries. I might be a dog, but my soul is a wild stallion." Daily quest completed with a double S rank. Congratulations, you have received 500 police dog points and a basic physical boost. New skill unlocked, animal communication. You can now speak with any creature flawlessly. My eyes lit up. This animal communication skill is incredible. Now every cat, dog, bird, and mouse in the city can be my personal informant. Tracking criminals will be effortless. Old Lee was totally humbled, walking up to me with an awkward smile. "Tiden, you, brother. Tiden, I was blind to your greatness. Please, do not hold a grudge." Beside him, Hurricane cowered, tucking his tail and bowing his head in total respect. I glanced at him and proudly lifted my head. Now you know who the boss is. On our way back to headquarters, the entire team looked at me differently. The amusement had turned into genuine respect. Even the chief stopped by to check out the miracle dog. He approved my intern police dog status on the spot. I am officially on the force. Now I was thrilled. With an official position, who dares say a husky cannot be a police dog? Mackay was ecstatic, rushing to the store to buy me tons of imported beef, jerky, and toys. That night she cooked a massive feast of meat, stuffing me until my belly was completely round. Lounging on the sofa, I opened the system shop. Looking at my 1,500 points, I wondered what to buy. Just then a faint meowing drifted from the balcony. I sprang up, ran outside, and spotted an orange cat sitting on the wall, staring right at me. Testing my new communication skill, I barked, "Hey, Big Orange, quick question. Anyone suspicious lurking around here lately?" The cat froze, eyes widening in shock. "What on earth? You are a husky. How can you speak, cat?" "I am naturally gifted." "Okay," I wagged my tail proudly. Spilett seen any strange or sketchy characters around. Big Orange perked up, leaping down from the wall to squat right below my balcony. "Yes, last night I spotted two guys acting incredibly suspicious near the opposite apartment gate. They smelled of blood and a horrific stench like rotting fish. They tossed a black plastic bag into the trash, which was squishy inside. Blood and rotting fish, I went on high alert. That is not rotten fish. It is a decomposing human body. Major case clue unlocked. Locate the murder dumping site and identify the suspects to receive 2,000 police dog points and permanent thermal vision. Holy cow, a murder." I instantly panicked, racing into the bedroom and frantically clawing at Makai as she slept, barking like crazy. Makai was wearing a face mask and jumped. "Tidan, what is wrong with you? Why are you barking in the middle of the night?" I grabbed her pajama leg, dragging her toward the door. She knew something was terribly wrong since I never act up for nothing. "Did something happen?" I nodded and barked. Her face hardened. She tore off the mask, threw on her uniform, called Captain Jang, and rushed downstairs with me arrived. "Makai, what is going on? What did he find?" She shook her head. "I have no idea. He suddenly dragged me out of the apartment like he sensed something. Everyone turned to stare at me. I immediately turned and barked at Big Orange waiting in the corner. "Where is it?" Led the way. The cat bolted and I gave chase. The bewildered officers looked at each other but followed. They could not grasp why a husky was following a cat. Big Orange guided me to an abandoned construction site across the street, stopping by a trash heap. He meowed, "Right here." They threw the black bag in here. I leaned in, activating my divine sense of smell. A wave of blood and rotting flesh hit my nose. This was it, I barked frantically at the garbage. Captain Jang's face paled and he ordered his team to dig. Soon a large black plastic bag was uncovered. They opened it to find human remains. The officers went dead silent. It was a murder. Captain Jang gasped, staring at me in total shock. He could never have imagined that a husky and a cat would lead them to a murder dump site. "Secure the area immediately. Call forensics and the Major Crimes Division. This is massive." The officers moved quickly, setting up police tape. Makai held me close, her hands trembling. She could not believe my midnight tantrum actually led to a body. I nudged her hand gently, then looked at Big Orange. "Thanks, buddy. I will bring you sausages later," proudly licking his paw. "No big deal. All the cats around here are under your wing now. Just call us whenever." I grinned. This was perfect. Every stray in the city was my informant. No criminal could escape my eyes. The Major Crimes Squad arrived quickly, their faces grim. The victim was a young woman around 25, dismembered and dumped here. There was nothing on her body to identify who she was leaving, almost no leads. Detective Zhao Gong, the legendary head of Major Crimes, frowned at Captain Jang. "How on earth did you guys find this place?" Zhang Lei pointed right at me, sighing helplessly. "We didn't find it. He did. Our team's rookie police dog, Tieden." Zhao Gong followed his gaze, saw me sitting by Maikai's feet, and froze. "A husky. Your detective squad uses a husky as a canine." Behind him, the Major Crimes investigators, the other detectives, looked just as stunned. "Captain Zhao, you have to believe us. This dog is a genius. He solved this morning's burglary all on his own, finding both the suspect and the tools, and tonight he led us right to this spot and pointed us straight to this body bag." Zhao Gang, still skeptical, walked over and sized me up. "A husky with this kind of talent. I've been a criminal investigator for 20 years and never heard of such a thing." Just then, a forensics technician hurried over with a serious look. "Captain Zhao, on the remains, we detected traces of diesel, salty seawater from a fish market and a rare species of seaweed." Zhao Gang frowned, muttering, "Diesel smell and a seafood market. Could the killer be from there?" We checked and there are 3 major seafood markets in the city, all near the docks. The search area is too massive to check them one by one. Zhao Gang fell silent. The murder had just occurred, and without any solid leads tracking down, the suspect seemed impossible. Finding him was practically impossible. Right then I stood up and barked, twice at Zhao Gang. I knew exactly where the killer was. Makai immediately spoke up. "Captain, I think Tidan found something." Zhao Gang stared at me, his face full of doubt. Him. What could he possibly find? I ignored his skepticism and activated my god-tier scent tracking. I carefully analyzed the odors on the remains: diesel, salty seawater seaweed, a faint hint of durian, and a very unique spice. All these scents blended together, forming a unique scent profile for the killer. I locked onto it, spun around, and bolted outside. Mackay quickly grabbed my leash to keep up. Seeing this, Zhao Gang ordered his team to follow. He wanted to see what tricks this husky actually had up his sleeve. I dashed through the streets, tracking the scent for nearly half an hour before finally stopping at the Southport Seafood Market. In the quiet early morning hours, only a few fish stalls remained open, but this was where the scent trail grew incredibly strong. The killer was definitely hiding inside. Looking at the market, Zhao Gang's expression shifted. Forensics had only mentioned a vague connection to a fish market, but this husky had led them directly to the exact location. Lock down the entire market immediately, he ordered. Nobody goes in or out. The officers moved fast, surrounding the premises. I guided them inside, weaving through the stalls until I stopped outside a fish shop at the very back. Parked near the entrance was a battered old diesel tricycle. Its bed was still stained with fish scraps. I barked frantically at the metal shutter door. This was the place. The killer was inside breach. The door, Zhao Gang commanded. Several officers stepped forward and kicked the metal shutter open. Inside, a shirtless, muscular man was holding a knife, desperately, scrubbing blood off the floor. His face drained of color as we burst in. The officers tackled him to the ground instantly. In the shop's freezer, they found the victim's remaining body parts along with the murder weapon, a sharp boning knife. Caught red-handed, the man collapsed, confessing to the murder and dismemberment. From finding the crime scene to capturing the killer, it had taken less than 2 hours. Everyone in the major crimes unit was stunned. Zhao Gang walked over to me, shaking his head in absolute disbelief, and gave me a big thumbs up. I'm convinced, seriously, you're not just a husky, you're a master detective. In his 20 years on the force, he had never seen a murder case solved so quickly, let alone the fact that the hero of the day was a husky. Mackay hugged me, absolutely beaming with pride. Then a system notification popped up. Task completed. Rating, triple S grade. Congratulations, host, you have been awarded police dog points. 2,000 points. Thermal vision unlocked. Current balance 3,500 points. I was thrilled. With thermal vision, even in pitch-black darkness, I could see criminals hiding behind walls. This was a massive win for my K-9 career. With the murder solved, I became an overnight legend. The entire police department soon learned that our squad had a god-tier husky police dog named T-Dan. I could catch fugitives, locate hidden clues, and solve complex homicides. I was far more capable than any traditional police dog. The other canines in the K-9 unit treated me with total respect, calling me boss and looking up to me as their pack leader. My daily routine was going to work with Mackay, then hanging out with the German Shepherds, Belgian Malinois, and Labradors to patrol the streets. Using my animal communication skill, I gathered tips from stray cats, neighborhood dogs, and even mice. One day we busted an illegal gambling ring. The next we captured a wanted fugitive. And the day after that, we shut down a massive scam ring. In just 1 week, using my vast animal network, I cracked over a dozen cases. The local crime rate plummeted, and the criminals were practically crying. No one expected to be busted by a husky first. I was absolutely everywhere. If a suspect tried to hide in a rental apartment, the stray cats outside would spot them. If they hid in the sewers, the local rats would snitch on them. There was simply nowhere left to run. The local underworld whispered a legend. A legendary husky had arrived, so do not commit crimes in Dongchuan or you won't even know how you got caught. My fame grew, and top city officials even came to visit eventually, transferring me to the major crimes unit. I became the city's first and only official husky K-9. Mackay also benefited, going from a rookie officer to a major crimes detective and my official handler. But fame attracts trouble, and the skeptics soon arrived. Viral posts claimed our department was hyping up a husky police dog, calling it a ridiculous publicity stunt. A famous dog trainer with millions of followers, known online as the Wolf King, even uploaded a video directly calling us out. In the video, he held up his credentials and declared, "I have been training police dogs for 20 years and have raised 3 top-tier champions. I can confidently tell you that huskies can never become police dogs. They have zero obedience, no focus, and completely unstable personalities. Forget solving cases, they are more likely to run off with a stranger. Dongchuan's so-called legendary husky is pure hype. It's an insult to the profession and disrespectful to frontline handlers." The video went viral instantly. The internet erupted with criticism, with countless people jumping on the bandwagon claiming we were putting on a fake show. The trending topic about our department's husky stunt shot to the #1 spot online. The media office was flooded with angry calls, and our chief faced massive pressure from higher-ups. Reading the harsh comments, Makai's eyes welled up with tears. How can they say this? You've cracked so many major cases, and they know absolutely nothing. I curled up by her feet, staring at the video, and sneered. So this guy wanted to chase clout fine. I would show them exactly what a husky can do, whether a husky is fit to be a police dog. Just then, a system quest triggered. Prove your skills to the world and protect your honor. Reward 5,000 points and permanent bulletproof fur capable of blocking pistol rounds at close range. The challenge was accepted. I stood up, barked at Mikai, and nudged her phone with my paw. She immediately understood my intent. Tiden, do you want to prove yourself? I nodded firmly. Mikai gritted her teeth, making up her mind, and called the chief. Chief, I request to hold a live-streamed K9 skills assessment, so Tiden can prove himself to the public. The chief went silent for a moment before replying, All right, I agree. We will hold it tomorrow at the City K9 training base. Let the whole country see if Tiden is the real deal. The news instantly blew up the internet. The trainer, Wolf King, wasted no time and posted a video response challenging us. He claimed he would personally design the tests to expose our fraud on the spot. Countless media outlets and spectators signed up to watch in person. Everyone was waiting for the stream to see if this viral husky was a real prodigy or just fake hype. By the next morning, the K9 training base was packed. Dozens of media cameras lined the field, and major platforms were broadcasting the entire event live. The live stream viewership instantly surpassed 10 million. Wolf King arrived with his crew leading a massive Belgian Malinois prize-winning champion dog. Seeing Makai and me walk in, he marched over with a smug look on his face. Officer Sui sneered, I want to see if your husky can pass my test today. If he fails, I expect your department to issue a public apology and stop this stunt. Mikai looked at him coldly. And what if Tiden passes? If he passes, I will delete my account and leave the dog training industry forever, Wolf King declared. The live chat instantly erupted. Oh man, the stakes are high. I bet a bag of chips this husky definitely fails. Knowing huskies, he will probably run off halfway. I believe in Tiden. He is a real detective dog. I glanced at Wolf King and looked away. The tests he had designed would be a total walk in the park. Soon the assessment began. The first round was drug detection. Wolf King had arranged 100 identical suitcases across the field, with only a single suitcase hiding 5 grams of illicit substances. The other bags were filled with decoy items, perfume, food, spices, and even durian, all meant to throw off a dog's nose. He set a strict 5-minute limit. Even for the most elite drug-sniffing canines, finding 5 grams of substances amid so many distractions would take at least 10 minutes. Wolf King looked at us smugly. Officer Sue after you. Let's see if your miracle dog can find it. The online viewers all held their breath. This is too difficult. It is a trap. 100 suitcases and all those distractions. 5 minutes is impossible. Makai looked tense, whispering, Tiden, you can do it. I tapped her leg to calm her down. This challenge was child's play for my god-tier sense of smell. I trotted up to the suitcases and activated my scent tracking. Instantly, the odors from all 100 bags flooded my nose. Perfume spices. Durian spices and all kinds of distracting smells meant absolutely nothing to me. In less than 10 seconds, I locked onto the drugs, walked over to box 37, sat down, and barked twice at Maikai to let her know I found it. The entire crowd went dead silent, everyone frozen for 10 seconds. Finding it in just 10 seconds made the Wolf King trainer's face drop. He snapped, impossible, absolutely impossible. He must have guessed. The forensics officer rushed over to open it. They opened box 37. Sure enough, there was a small sealed bag inside containing exactly 5 bags of heroin spot on. Thunderous applause erupted, and the live stream chat went wild. Holy crap, 10 seconds. That is insane. And they called this a publicity stunt. This nose is better than any elite police dog. The Wolf King trainer's face turned completely green, then pale. Gritting his teeth, he muttered, It is just luck. A blind cat catching a dead mouse. But there was a second round bomb detection. This time, he hid the explosives inside one of 10 completely dismantled cars, scattered across the training ground, tucked deep inside a highly concealed gap in the engine. The explosive was only the size of a fingernail buried under heavy scent distractions. He gave me 3 minutes, but little did he know it took me just 5 seconds to locate it and pull the package right out of the engine. The crowd went wild again. The third event was the obstacle course. The Wolf King trainer set it to maximum difficulty with fire rings, high walls, single plank bridges, and barbed wire. For professional police dogs, finishing in under 2 minutes is elite. But for me, I crushed the course in just 40 seconds, moving like water, without a single mistake, beating the world record by nearly a minute. The fourth event was subduing suspects. The Wolf King trainer brought in 3 professional decoys wearing protective gear. Armed with weapons, they simulated a hostage situation. The dog had to neutralize the 3 suspects without harming the hostage. I charged in, and in less than 20 seconds, I had all 3 decoys flat on their backs. The hostage was untouched. I finished all 4 events with perfect scores shattering every single police dog record. The crowd gave me a standing ovation, their cheers deafening, while the live stream viewers surged past 50 million with comments, flooding the screen too fast to read. The screen was a total blur. This is insane. He is not a husky, he is a god of war. I apologize for doubting you. T-Dan, you are the real deal. Hey, Wolf King, trainer, where are you? Did not. You say you would delete your account. And you claimed he was insulting police dogs. His skills put you to shame. The Wolf King trainer stood frozen pale and trembling. He could not believe a husky could pull this off. The champion Belgian Malinois he was so proud of was not even fit to shine my shoes. Mikai walked up to him and asked coldly, "Do you still think we are just hyping things up?" The Wolf King trainer opened his mouth but could not utter a word. Finally, before millions online, he slunk away in shame. That very night, he deleted his account and vanished from the internet. Meanwhile, I became an overnight sensation. Viral topics like Superdog Taidan and Husky Breaks World Record completely dominated the trends, ranking in the top 10. Everyone in the country now knew the Dongchuan Police Department had a legendary husky named Tiadan. Then my system pinged Reputation Quest complete, rank triple S. Congratulations, you received 5,000 police dog points. Bulletproof fur unlocked. Current balance, 8,500 points. I looked at my system screen, absolutely thrilled. With bulletproof fur, I would not have to fear even armed criminals. But I had no idea a massive crisis was quietly creeping in. Kunsha, the notorious drug lord who killed our old captain, Mi Jiangguo, and caused my own death in my past life, had snuck back into the country. He saw the news about me, realizing I was Mikai's dog, and that I had uncovered many clues he left behind years ago. He now saw Mikai and me as thorns in his side, and a deadly conspiracy against us was already in motion. One day, while Mikai and I were on a border mission, local police received a tip-off. Kunsha's cartel was planning a massive drug deal deep in the border jungle. A special task force was assembled, and Mikai, as my handler, brought me along. The border jungle was a treacherous maze teeming with venomous insects. Even experienced narcotics officers hesitated to enter. But for me, this place was my home turf. Armed with thermal vision, divine scent tracking, and animal communication, every insect, snake, bird, and beast in this jungle became my eyes and ears. Leading the task force, I bypassed all the traps and sentries, creeping silently toward their meeting point. It was a drug lab hidden deep in the forest, guarded by dozens of heavily armed traffickers with massive stockpiles of narcotics and weapons. The task force leader stared at the compound, his face grim. "All right, everyone. Prepare to move in, catch them red-handed with the goods, and stay safe." But just as they prepared to breach, my instincts flared. My divine sense caught a strong whiff of explosives and gasoline, saturating the entire site. It was a trap I immediately cut in front of Mikai, barking frantically, then let out a low, menacing growl toward the compound. Mikai understood instantly and turned to the leader. "Chief, something is wrong. Tidan found a trap. There are explosives inside." The leader's face paled, and he immediately ordered everyone to halt. Right then, a burst of arrogant laughter echoed from the compound, and a man holding a satellite phone appeared. It was the drug lord Kunsha himself. "Officer Lee, long time no see. Your father died by my hand, and now his daughter walks right into my trap. As for that wonder dog husky who keeps ruining my plans today, I am sending you both to join him." With that, he slammed down on the detonator. A deafening blast ripped through the jungle, swallowing the entire compound in a sea of fire as a massive shockwave tore toward us. Trees shattered to splinters all around. "Get down!" Without a second thought, I lunged forward and threw myself over Mikai, shielding her body entirely with mine. I activated my bulletproof fur just as a hail of shrapnel and debris slammed into my back. Pain shot through me as I coughed up blood. Tidan Mikai let out a heartbreaking scream, hugging me as her tears poured. Once the dust settled, Kunsha emerged from the jungle with dozens of heavily armed men. "Kill them all. Leave no one alive." They roared, spraying bullets wildly. The officers scrambled for cover and fired back, sparking a fierce gunfight. But with the enemy's overwhelming numbers and heavy firepower, we were quickly pinned down. Mikai held me, her entire body shaking as she looked at my bleeding back. Tidan, please do not do this to me. Hold on, I'm getting you out of here. I gently licked away her tears, struggling to stand up despite the searing pain, but my eyes held only cold fury. Kunsha, the monster who killed the old captain and took my past life, today he pays in blood. I activated my Wolf King deterrence, letting out a thunderous howl that shook the valley and unleashed my animal friend's skill. All beasts of the jungle heed my call. All canines assemble. Instantly, the forest erupted. Pack after pack of wild wolves charged out from the shadows, accompanied by a tide of venomous snakes, wild boars, and swarms of birds. They swarmed the area, answering my call as my personal army. Kunsha and his men froze in sheer terror. They could not comprehend how a single bark from a husky could summon a literal army of wild beasts. What the hell? Where did all these wolves come from? Look at the snakes. Panic broke out as the predators tore their ranks to shreds. Seizing the chaos, I bolted like a flash of lightning straight toward Kunsha. Seeing me charge, he raised his gun and pulled the trigger. 3 shots hit me square in the chest, but my bulletproof fur held strong, leaving only minor scrapes. Kunsha stood, frozen, unable to comprehend a dog surviving direct gunfire. I leapt through the air, tackling him to the ground, and clamped my jaws onto his armed wrist, snapping it with sheer force. My hand Kunsha shrieked in agonizing pain as he collapsed onto the dirt. Pinning him down, I let out a low, menacing growl, right at his throat. It is time to pay for what you did. Seizing the moment the officers rushed in and subdued the remaining cartel, Kunsha, on the run for over a decade, was finally in handcuffs. With the battle won, my strength faded, and darkness took over. Tidan. Makai ran over like crazy, cradling me, as she sobbed hysterically. Please do not die. Tidan, I cannot lose you. Fluttering my eyes open, I saw her tear-streaked face and gently nudged her hand. Do not worry, I am tough. Just then the system flashed. Severe injuries detected. Spend 5,000 points to initiate full body repair. Yes, do it now. Repairing complete. A soothing warmth washed through me and my wounds healed right before her eyes. Standing back up on my feet, I gave Makai a cheerful wag of my tail. She froze completely stunned. Seeing my wounds fully closed, her tears turned to laughter as she hugged me tightly. This raid was a massive triumph. We captured the notorious drug lord Kunsha, dismantled his entire lab, and seized 2 tons of heroin along with heavy weaponry. Standing in the quiet jungle, watching Kunsha get loaded into a police cruiser, I still tasted copper in my mouth. My back was healed, but memories of fighting alongside my old captain in my past life surged through my mind. Mikai threw her arms around my neck, burying her face in my fur as her shoulders shook. She had waited 5 long years for this moment. Ever since the day her father died, she lived for this justice. Now Kunsha was caught, but something felt off. Scenes of my past life chasing Kunsha alongside the old captain replayed in my mind. Our tactical plan back then was absolutely flawless. No one outside the core strike team knew our route or timing. Yet we were ambushed. The captain took multiple bullets shielding me and died in this very jungle. No matter how powerful Kunsha was, there was no way he could have known our exact route unless there was a mole in our ranks. Just as my head popped up, all my fur stood on end. A system alert chimed. Host detected triggering hidden main quest. Investigate the sacrifice of Mi Jianguo and root out the mole inside the force. Clear his name. Reward 10,000 police dog points and the ultimate Wolf King build with maxed skills. Penalty for failure. A fatal crisis for Maikai and me, plus system unbinding. As the voice faded, I shuddered. The past was not that simple. Kun Sa was just a puppet executioner. The real traitor who killed the old captain is still hiding inside the department, maybe in a high position. I looked at Mikai, lost in the joy of revenge. Tears in her eyes, she smiled and rubbed my head, saying, Tidan, we won. Dad is avenged. Looking into her innocent eyes, my heart ached. I could never tell her the truth. Our department harbors a traitor who sold out her father. Without solid proof, I cannot let her take any risks. Rest easy, Captain. I will protect your daughter and drag your killer out from the shadows. He will pay in blood. 3 days later, we returned to Dongchuan Bureau with the seized drugs and suspects. As we drove through the gates, the crowd startled me. Nearly the entire department stood in the courtyard. They stood tall, saluting us in unison. A massive banner read, "Welcome home, heroes." The entrance swarmed with reporters, their camera flashes blinding. The moment Maikai led me out of the vehicle, thunderous applause and cheers erupted. Titan, the legendary dog. You did great, officer. The noise was deafening. I held my head high, strutting proudly beside Maikai, playing the part of a goofy husky. Panting and wagging my tail, but completely alert. This glory put a target on our backs. The hidden mole had to be watching us from the crowd. At the victory banquet, the chief personally presented Maikai with a Class 3 merit medal and slipped a custom medal around my neck. The red ribbon felt heavy. Titan, you are our pride and a model for police dogs. Nationwide, the chief beamed, patting my head. Officers raised their glasses to us. Old Lee from the K9 unit brought Hurricane over and respectfully offered me a big plate of imported beef jerky. Brother Titan, you are our chief instructor now. Hurricane sat submissively at my feet, whimpering in total respect. I snatched a piece of jerky and shook my head, accepting his submission. But just then a cold, intense gaze locked onto me. I snapped my head up and traced the look. There stood Deputy Chief Liu Jianjun, glass in hand, smiling warmly at Maikai and me. He was in his 50s, hair half gray, always wearing that gentle, friendly expression. He was the old captain's former apprentice, and had watched Maikai grow up. After the captain died, he cared for her like a real uncle, even helping her join the detective squad. When online trolls attacked us for chasing clout, he was the first to stand up for us. Yet that look he just gave me made my fur stand on end. Behind that gentle smile lurked something sinister. Suddenly, warning high risk hostile target detected. Subject Liu Jianjun, danger level extreme. The system's alarm blared in my head. I froze in shock. How was that possible? He was the captain's most trusted student, and Mikai's closest uncle. Why would he wish us harm unless I dared not think further? Liu Jianjun walked over, patting her shoulder. Great job, kid. Your father would be proud. Maikai immediately beamed. Uncle Liu, we only caught Kun Sa because of the clues you gave us. He waved his hand, smiling warmly. It is the least I could do. Your father was my mentor. Protecting you is my duty. He looked down, reaching to pat my head. I instinctively backed away, bared my teeth, and let out a low, menacing growl. The room fell dead silent. Everyone was stunned. They knew how close he was to her family. I was usually friendly, so why this sudden aggression? Maikai quickly pulled me back, apologizing. I am so sorry, Uncle Liu. Tieden is still on edge from the border. His smile stiffened, but he quickly recovered. No worries. It is natural for a working dog to remain highly alert after a dangerous mission. He retracted his hand, offering polite excuses before turning away. But as he turned, I saw the warmth vanish from his eyes, replaced by a cold, sinister glare. Alarm bells screamed inside my head. Something was seriously wrong with him. Back home after the banquet, Maikai pulled me into a hug and tapped my snout. Tidan, what got into you today? Why the attitude with Uncle Liu? He has always looked out for me. I would never have made it into the police academy without him. I nuzzled her palm, my heart heavy. I could not tell her that her trusted uncle might be her father's killer. I could only whine softly. She sighed, rubbing my head. All right, I am not mad. You must be exhausted. She boiled a huge feast of chicken and beef for me, but I had no appetite. My mind raced with Liu's fake smile and the system's warning. I had to uncover the truth about the captain's death, but I was just a dog. I could not check case files or interrogate suspects. My only hope was the system and my city-wide animal network. The next morning, Maikai filled my bowl and left for work. The moment she walked out, I sprang onto the balcony, barking twice. Within 3 minutes, a stray ginger cat hopped onto the railing. Need me, Boss T. Dan. Using my beast communication skill, I barked my orders to him. Gather every stray in the area who knows Liu Jianjun. I need his whereabouts for the last 5 years, everyone he met, and everything he did. Hearing this, Big Orange perked up. Leave it to me, boss. Every cat in this district reports to me. I will dig up every detail. With that, he leaped from the railing and vanished into the shadows. Watching the busy streets, my gaze grew cold. Liu Jianjun, no matter how deep you hide, I will expose you. I will bring justice to the captain and to my past self. For the next few days, I acted like a goofy husky again, tagging along to work. I ran wild with the other police dogs, chewed on teacups, and shredded case files. I even trashed the chief's office. Everyone got used to my double life. On duty, I was a legendary K9. Off duty, I was just a chaotic puppy. Nobody suspected me. No one believed a silly dog was digging up dirt on the deputy chief. Meanwhile, the stray network was working hard. Every night, animals gathered under my balcony to share updates. Liu visits a private club every Wednesday night and stays until dawn. Last month, he met a contact from Hong Kong who smelled like pure heroin. And 5 years ago, the day before Captain Me died, Liu secretly met Kunsa at the border. Clue after clue piled up, sending a chill down my spine. The traitor was indeed Liu. But this was all hearsay. He has spent 20 years building deep connections here. Without solid proof, moving against him would only tip him off and endanger my Kai. While I looked for a breakthrough, a major case landed. 3 young women, all college students around 20 years old, vanished near the university district during the night. No clues were left behind. Security footage showed them entering the mall, but they never walked out. Our tech team combed through every camera, but found absolutely nothing. No sign of them leaving and no suspects. 3 girls had vanished into thin air. Panic spread across the city. The Bureau formed a task force and Mikai joined them. We worked for 3 days with zero progress. In the meeting room, the tension was suffocating. Zhang Lei crushed his cigarette, his expression grim. All 3 girls disappeared in crowded areas. No witnesses, no footage. The suspect knows how to hide. If we do not find clues soon, there will be a 4th victim. Mikai sat frowning her pen, tapping restlessly. She had not slept in 3 days, her eyes completely bloodshot. Watching her suffer, my heart ached. Suddenly a system alert, pinged emergency mission triggered. Solve the serial disappearances. Reward 3,000 points and a permanent danger, sensing skill covering 10 kilometers. A new quest. Finding missing people. Easy. Every animal in this city serves as my eyes. No suspect can hide from my network. I stood up, nudged her leg, and barked twice. Mikai looked down, her eyes shining. Tiden, do you have a way? I nodded, spun around, and bolted from the meeting room. Mikai rushed after me. Zhang Lei and the task force officers followed. They fully trusted my skills now, so I led them out. We ran all the way to the busy shopping district near the university where the first girl had vanished. It was packed with shops, food stalls, and crowds. Security cameras covered almost every corner, and tech support had already reviewed the footage more than 10 times, finding absolutely nothing. I stopped outside the milk tea shop where she was last seen and activated my divine sense of smell. Instantly, a tidal wave of odors flooded my nose: sweet tea-fried food, the crowd's sweat car exhaust, and a tiny, almost completely faded trace of perfume from the first missing girl. I tracked that scent, moving forward step by step. Everyone held their breath behind me, afraid to make a single sound. The scent led past the milk tea shop through the food street and stopped right in front of a rusty abandoned delivery locker covered in ads. I barked twice at the broken locker and Zhang Lei's face went pale. He immediately ordered the tech team to tear it open and see what was inside. They quickly pried off the back panel and everyone froze. Right behind the locker was a narrow hidden shaft leading straight underground. The dark tunnel smelled of damp, heavy mold. How is there a passage here? Pull up the underground blueprints. The tech team quickly found the files and their faces fell. Captain, this tunnel was built when the shopping center was built. It is an abandoned ventilation shaft leading to an unfinished complex 3 kilometers away. It was marked as closed, but it is still open. Everyone gasped. No wonder cameras missed everything. The suspect used this shaft to smuggle them out. He is terrifyingly meticulous. Mikai drew his service weapon with a grim look. Captain, I will lead the team in. Zhang Lei nodded, but I jumped right in front of Mikai, growling fiercely at the dark opening. Danger, lethal explosives detected inside. The system alert blared in my mind. Every hair on my body stood on end, and I blocked Mikai, refusing to let him take a single step. Mikai understood me instantly. His face paled, and he pulled his colleagues back. Do not go in, there is danger. Just then a faint ticking noise echoed from the darkness. Zhang Lei gasped and roared at the top of his lungs. Everyone fall back. Move. We scrambled away, and the second we reached a safe distance, a massive blast shook the ground. Dust and debris rained down, as the delivery locker was instantly blown to absolute splinters. Cold sweat broke out on everyone. If they had rushed in, they would be dust by now. Zhang Lei stared at the smoke, then at me, with pure relief. That was too close. Thank God for Tidan. Mikai hugged my neck, his hands trembling and tears in his eyes. Thank you, Tidan. I nudged his palm, but my chest tightened. This suspect was not just meticulous, he was ruthless enough to plant bombs. Worse, he seemed to know we would find this place. Is he watching us? The blast collapsed the tunnel, making it impossible to enter. The lead was dead, and the task force looked devastated. Their hard-earned clue was gone just like that. The suspect was ready for us even predicting our exact moves. While the team was at a dead end, I remembered my animal spy network. This busy district was crawling with stray cats, dogs, and rats. There is no way he slipped in and out without being seen. Slipped away from Maikai's leash, I dashed to a quiet alley and barked at a stray cat rummaging through the trash. Hey, let me ask you something. Over the last 2 weeks, did you see anyone suspicious hanging around that old delivery locker? The cat cowered instantly, bowing its head. Yes, Boss Dan. I saw a guy coming here every single night wearing a hat and mask with a huge backpack. He went behind that locker and stayed until dawn. He smelled like strong disinfectant and blood, so he stayed away. My eyes lit up. What did he look like? Where did he go? He always drives a white van toward the abandoned construction site out west. His plate number is Dongwei 83425. The cat remembered it perfectly. My heart leapt in pure excitement. We finally had a real lead. I rushed back to Makai, barking frantically while scratching the license plate numbers into the dirt. Makai got it, instantly pulling out his notepad to record each digit as I wrote them. Dongwei 83425 Taiyuan. Is this a plate? I nodded quickly and barked toward the west. Zhang Lei barked orders immediately. Run this plate, find the owner, and lock down every abandoned site in the west. It took the tech team less than 5 minutes to trace the registration. Captain, the owner is Zhou Ming, 32. He was a surgeon at the city hospital until he got fired for malpractice 6 months ago. He owns a white van matching that exact plate, and all 3 missing girls were once patients in his ward. Everyone cheered up. We finally found him. We had our hands on the suspect at last. Zhang Lei grabbed his radio and barked, "All units, target is locked. Zhou Ming, proceed to the west side ruins for the arrest." Dozens of sirens screamed as a fleet of police cars sped toward the abandoned site. I rode in Mikai's cruiser, watching the scenery blur past the window. My gaze turned cold. Zhou Ming, whoever you are, and whatever your sick reasons are, you will not escape today. We soon arrived. The area was a wasteland of half-built concrete, overgrown weeds, and construction rubble. It was completely deserted, the perfect hideout. Zhang Lei quickly surrounded the complex. All units stay alert. The suspect may be armed with weapons or explosives. Be extremely careful and secure the hostages. I leaped out of the patrol car, triggering both my super smell and thermal vision. Instantly, the entire layout mapped itself in my mind. Through my thermal vision, I saw heat signatures in 3 of the empty buildings. The tallest one in the middle showed 4 weak signatures, the 3 girls and the suspect Zhou Ming. I immediately pointed and barked furiously at the target. Over there. The middle building. Makai shouted, pointing it out. Zhang Lei ordered the team to close in on that structure. I took the lead, charging ahead like a streak of black lightning. Burst into the concrete frame. The stairwell was dark, choked with dust and rubble. My thermal vision confirmed the suspect was up on the rooftop with the 3 girls. I flew up the stairs like a rocket and reached the rooftop entrance. Just as I neared, a man's crazed scream echoed from outside. "Stay back. Don't come any closer or I will kill them." I rammed through the iron door and saw him standing near the ledge. He wore glasses, holding a scalpel right against a girl's neck. The other 2 girls were tied to a pipe, trembling and gagged. They were the 3 missing victims, and this was Zhou Ming. He froze when he saw me charge through. He clearly did not expect a husky to lead the raid. Before he could react, I leaped through the air like lightning, sinking my teeth deep into his weapon hand. With a sickening crack, his wrist bone snapped and the scalpel clattered to the concrete. My hand, Zhou Ming shrieked like a slaughtered pig curling into a ball. I let go, pinning my paw onto his chest and baring my sharp fangs. Just then, Makai and Zhang Lei burst onto the roof with the team. Seeing the rescued girls and the suspect pinned under my weight, everyone let out a massive sigh. Officers quickly cuffed Zhou Ming and dragged him away. The 3 rescued girls clung to Makai, sobbing hysterically. Missing for 2 weeks, they were finally safe. The case was solved, and once again I became the absolute hero of the Dongchuan Police Department. Yet I could not celebrate. As they dragged him away, he stared at me and muttered something chilling. A mere dog ruined Director Liu's plans. Director Liu. Liu Jianjun. Those words hit my brain like lightning. Is this serial kidnapping connected to him? I bolted down the stairs, chasing the police cruiser, and growled furiously at Zhou Ming through the window. He stared back with a twisted grin. You think a fired doctor could easily get military explosives and predict every raid it was Liu Jianjun. He funded me, gave me the bombs, and fed me police intelligence. He said if I made this serial kidnapping mess to ruin the department and blame Zhang Lei and Mikai, he would easily become chief. My blood ran cold. It was indeed Liu Jianjun. For his own selfish career, he protected a serial kidnapper and risked innocent girls' lives. What an absolute monster. I spun around and raced toward headquarters. I had to go back. Mikai was in danger. Liu Jianjun knew his plan failed and would strike Mikai in desperation. I ran as fast as my paws could carry me, legs blurring. Critical warning. Lethal threat to Mikai detected inside the headquarters underground parking lot. The system alert blared in my brain like a thunderclap. My eyes went red. Mackay, I bolted toward the basement parking lot like a madman. Just as I reached the entrance, a deafening gunshot rang out. Bang! The sharp echo made my fur stand on end. I burst inside and saw Mackay leaning against a car in a dark corner, bleeding heavily from a shot to his arm. Gun in hand, he faced two masked men. She was pale, gritting her teeth. Two masked men with guns closed in. One sneered, "Officer Min, don't blame us. Chief Liu ordered this. Blame him if you must. Blame that meddling dog of yours and your dead father, Liu Jianjun. It really was him." My eyes flashed red. My bones popped my ultimate wolf physique, fully unlocked, and I charged like black lightning. Before the speaker could react, I tore into his neck. A sickening crunch and his carotid artery ruptured, spraying warm blood across my face. The other guy panicked, raising his gun to shoot. Bang. The bullet flew at me, but my bulletproof fur activated, barely scratching my skin. I leaped, slamming into him, and clamped my jaws onto his wrist, tearing his hand clean off. The man shrieked in agony, collapsing. I pinned his chest, baring my bloody fangs right in his face. Just then, footsteps echoed at the entrance. Liu Jianjun walked in with a few officers. Seeing the two assassins and my blood-soaked body, his face paled. He drew his gun, shouting, "Mackay, get back. That dog is rabid. It is attacking people. I am putting it down. The nerve of this liar." Trying to frame me for murder, Mackay immediately stepped in front of me, aiming her gun at him with pure hatred. "Cut the act, Liu Jianjun. They admitted you sent them to kill me." His gentle mask shattered into a vicious sneer. "Mackay, don't let this mad dog fool you. I'm your Uncle Liu. Your father trusted me most. Don't you dare mention my father." Mackay cried, her eyes flashing red. Her gun hand shook violently. "Did his death have to do with you too?" Liu's expression darkened. Realizing the game was up, he burst into a terrifying sadistic laugh. "You're right. It was me. I sold that old man out because he blocked my path. I would have been deputy chief years ago. He kept digging into the Kunsha case until it traced to me. I served with him for over 10 years. Yet he always held me back. He deserved to die." Mackay trembled, tears streaming down her face. She couldn't believe her trusted uncle murdered her father. "You monster, my dad treated you like a brother." Liu's grin widened. A brother. He never respected me. He only cared about his narcotics team and his precious daughter. I didn't want to kill you, but you had to raise this meddling dog. He crossed me and ruined my plans. Neither of you is leaving here alive today. He gestured to the officers behind him, and they raised their guns at us. They were all in on it. Every last one was his loyal lackey. The tension froze. Mackay's arm was bleeding heavily, her face growing paler. One woman with one gun against 4 armed, corrupt cops. The odds were 0. I stood before her, my fur bristling as a low wolf growl rumbled in my throat. I would die before letting her get hurt. Suddenly, my system flashed, spend 5,000 points to temporarily unlock the ultimate Wolf King. Someone calls all canines within 10 kilometers for backup. Unlock yes. "Do it now," I screamed, internally. Ultimate Wolf King summon unlocked. Duration 30 minutes. The moment it unlocked, I threw my head back and let out a howl that shook the entire station. No goofy husky bark, but a raw, commanding South American gray wolf roar. A call to all of Dongchuan. Every dog heard it. Cyclone, the police dog leader, bolted from the canine base with a dozen police dogs charging toward the station alongside hundreds of local strays. They flooded the underground garage. Liu Jianjun and his men paled. What is that? How can a husky howl like a wolf? Before they could process it, a deafening noise erupted from the entrance. A deafening roar of barking erupted. Cyclone led a dozen massive police dogs inside, followed by hundreds of strays pouring in from all sides, packing the garage. Every single dog glared at Liu and his men, baring sharp teeth and growling. They answered my call. Liu and his thugs froze in terror. They never imagined a husky's howl could summon a massive army of dogs. "They're crazy, all of them." Liu's face went white as paper, his gun hand shaking. I glared at him with murderous intent. "Liu Jianjun, you murdered the captain and betrayed us. Today is your judgment day." I lunged at him. He raised his gun to shoot, but before he could fire, Cyclone leaped from the side, clamping his jaws onto Liu's wrist. The gun clattered to the floor. I slammed hard into his chest, sending him flying. Hundreds of snarling dogs instantly surrounded him. Cowardly and terrified, he lay there, shaking, completely losing control of his bladder right on the spot. Just then, Officer Zhang Lei rushed in with backup. They froze at the sight. Liu and his core men were pinned down, while Mackay leaned against a car bleeding but standing proud. Zhang's face fell when he saw Liu. He had heard the gunshots and received the tech department's report detailing Liu's transactions with Kun Sha and the evidence of hiring hitmen. Liu Jianjun, you are under arrest for treason collusion and attempted murder. Officers cuffed Liu and his conspirators. As they dragged him away, he stared at me, his eyes filled with pure resentment. I lost to a dog, I don't accept this, I scoffed at him. You didn't lose to a dog, you lost to your own greed and filth. With Liu caught, the captain's murder was solved. The evidence was absolute. Years ago, Liu took bribes from Kun Sha and leaked the operation plans, causing the mission to fail and the captain to die. He used drug money to climb the ranks, all the way to deputy chief. When Kun Sha was caught, Liu panicked. He staged the missing persons cases to frame Mackay, and Zhang then hired hitmen to silence us. But justice prevailed. He fell by my hand anyway. The court moved, quickly sentencing Liu to death. On the day of his execution, Mackay took me to the cemetery. She hugged her father's tombstone and wept for hours. Dad, we got him. Your name is cleared. I sat quietly before his grave, staring at his picture. He smiled warmly, looking exactly as he did in my memories. Oh, Captain, can you see your killer is punished? Your daughter is an incredible detective now. Rest easy, I'll protect her forever. The wind rustled through the cemetery pines like his gentle reply. Returning from the cemetery, Mikai seemed lighter, her oldest scar healed. Just then my system chimed. Hidden main quest completed. Task rating SSS. Rewards granted. 10,000 points awarded, and ultimate Wolf King physique unlocked. Host lifespan is now synchronized with companion Maikai. I paused, then smiled. Lifespan synced, which meant I could stay by her side forever. Over time, I became a national celebrity, Tidan the Wonder Dog. I was a decorated police dog and honorary dean of the National Academy. Trainers from all over brought their pups to learn from me. Even the state media shot a documentary titled Tidan the Legend. Meanwhile, Mikai kept cracking major cases, rising through the ranks. She became the youngest captain in Dongchuan and was named a model officer. She had become exactly what her father always wanted. My daily routine was simple tag along to work lead patrols and use my animal intelligence network. We busted gambling dens, caught fugitives, and destroyed fraud rings. Our crime rate hit historic lows, and a saying spread through the local underworld. Better to face the Grim Reaper than step foot in Dongchuan. Why? Because a certain husky sees everything. Of course, I still did normal husky things like tearing up furniture or stealing Officer Zhang's teacups and shredding the chief's files. I'm a professional after all. One day, I followed Mekai home to find a massive cake and a feast waiting on the table. A banner hung on the wall. It read, "Happy 2nd anniversary." Tidan, I froze. Mekai smiled, kneeling to ruffle my fur. She slipped a custom badge around my neck. Engraved on it was my name alongside a special title. Special grade police dog. Maikai's family. Happy 2nd anniversary, Tidan. Thank you for protecting me. You're not just a dog, you're my family, my hero. She held my head and kissed my forehead. A warm wave washed over me as I saw her smile. In my past life, I was a narcotics cop protecting this city. In this life, as a husky, my mission hasn't changed. I still guard this city and the person I care about most. I licked her cheek and barked softly. Don't worry, Mikai. I'm here for this life and the next. No one will ever hurt you. No one is hurting you on my watch. Moonlight streams into the living room, bathing Mackay and me in its warm, bright glow. I will guard this city's lights and protect the one I love, even if I'm just a husky. I will be the absolute best police dog in the nation, the hero protecting Mackay for life.